What is up, everybody, and welcome to the All NBA Show, powered by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet at FanDuel.com/AllNBA. I'm your host, Adam Mares. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, EuroBasket superfan, Marc Stein. Marc, what's going on, brother?
I am good, my friend. I am good. Busy Wednesday in the NBA. Very busy.
Very busy. That's why we brought you in. Not just busy in the NBA, but busy in EuroBasket as well. The Final Four is set. Finland versus Germany. Greece versus Turkey, which is a bit of a rivalry. There's some very interesting mixed, I don't know what you say, mixed backgrounds there, like very familiar teams, Turkey and Greece, which will be fun to preview. But we're also going to talk about the Board of Governors meeting that you previewed, by the way, last week when you were on the show. You talked about what a big deal this was. It happened today. Was it New York City? It happened. All of the owners in the NBA were in attendance, and we got some interesting things from it.
Yeah, so what always happens this time of year, the Board of Governors meet in New York, so every team is in the room together, and then 2 days of meetings, and then Adam Silver briefs us. We got a couple rule change announcements. The NBA announced that the end of shot clock, end of half heaves, that the buzzer heaves, whatever you want to call them, the Jokic shot, the shot that your guy Jokic loves, those will no longer count as field goal attempts. So now everyone can hoist them. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
What do you think of this? Honestly, because to me this is so ridiculous.
Why are we spending time on? It's amazing that this is like something that they're really spending time on. And although that stat, what's that? I mean, Jokic shot 42% from three last season, even though he still took 20 of these end of clock heaves. Yeah. What a monster! What a monster he is. The other one,
hold up, real quick. Do you think this is going to lead to more heaves now? That
it should. I mean, it should.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't it? What is the excuse now for guys not wanting to shoot that lat? How many times do we see the guy wait till the horn goes off and then they launch it? I mean, so just shoot it, just throw it up there, see what happens. I mean, look, today the Germany-Slovenia game turned on. It turned on a one-legged Andy Obst three, and then De Silva making a running three from beyond half court at the third quarter buzzer. So, I couldn't believe that was actually this big point of emphasis. I think far newsier was what they announced about the NBA Cup, that not this season, but starting next season in 26-27, only the finals will be in a neutral site. This year and the first 2 years of NBA Cup, the league did both the semis and the finals in Vegas. Now only the finals will be at a neutral site. So that's pretty significant. But look, all the anticipation was about the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, salary cap circumvention, what would be said. And maybe I got too hyped up the other day when we were talking about it because predictably, we don't really know that much more. I mean, okay, officially now Adam Silver has addressed it officially. That is true. But Adam Silver basically said, guys, we've hired an outside firm, Wachtell Lipton, which has done NBA investigations in the past. The outside firm needs time to go through due process. And he did say we're not going to be rushing to any judgment, no matter what the optics are here, and no matter how loudly the public is baying for, suspend Ballmer, take the All-Star game, all these things that everybody wants. But he did say, Adam Silver did say, the onus is on the league to prove the wrongdoing.
Correct.
So that's Go ahead.
Yeah, because this is the most important thing. I think all the other stuff is fair. I think this is true in any situation. No matter how guilty a person seems, you always say, hey, this is a country that due process is important. But their own language makes it sound like it is not fully beyond the shadow of a doubt. It's just, do these things seem a little fishy? That's what it says in the collective bargaining agreement, that it doesn't have to be. Things need to seem above board. But Adam Silver almost seemed to go out of his way to make it sound the opposite of no, it's on us to prove this thing.
Yeah.
And that to me is
the CBA language basically says if there is circumstantial evidence, the NBA can act upon that. And so a lot of the reaction has been, well, the Pablo Torre podcast gave us plenty of circumstantial evidence. So why doesn't the league just act upon that? But if you listen to Adam Silver today, he made it very clear that they're not going to just be acting on circumstantial evidence, that they want to run through the whole independent investigation, and they want to see proof. They want to see some kind of formal proof that they can look at and see that connects the Clippers to these alleged payments that were made to Kawhi Leonard in addition to his salary. And that's why, frankly, there's a lot of skepticism around the league that the Clippers are going to be hit hard here. Now, there are some, honestly, we're hearing everything. There are some people around the league who do think the Clippers are going to get some kind of penalty. And that because there is so much noise around this, that the league has to take some kind of action here. But I think really when you listen to Adam Silver, it became pretty clear today, like, it's not going to happen fast. They're going to go through this investigation. They're going to go through this process, and it's not going to be settled by the start of training camp. Let's just say there's going to be an investigation here, and how we'll have to see how long it takes.
Does your opinion about what you think or how you think this shakes out, does it change at all hearing those comments?
It didn't. Nothing I heard today really changed. This is what I really expected.
Yeah.
I guess the hopeful part of me, and look, it's still early in the week. Maybe now, as all these teams leave New York, we'll start to hear. I mean, look, there are some teams out there that are really mad, and I guess I thought we would hear more of that, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised that we didn't today.
That's actually Adam, one of the stories, wouldn't you say, Mark? Nothing leaked from these meetings. And maybe that's what you would expect.
Let's underline the word yet, because it's a 2-day session and all the owners are jumping on planes to leave town. So it's like, I think we have to say yet.
Okay.
But like I said, there are some teams out there who are livid. And then I think there are probably, I'm less sure about this, but this is more my hunch, that there are teams out there that maybe don't want this to be investigated so thoroughly, because there's every other team out there. I mean, are you trying to tell me that no, this has never happened before? But a big part of this is this whole sponsorship lane. It's new ground. It's new territory for all of us. Even me covering it, like, I don't remember it being discussed to the extent it's being discussed now, just in these last 2 weeks. Teams have been doing, star players have been able to get deals with sponsors for ages, but it's just never been talked about like it is now. And now everyone's asking questions about it. Should the league take a firmer role, a more overt role in policing? Because what the teams are saying with the Clippers are saying, investigate us. We have nothing to hide. We had nothing to do with this. The Clippers are saying we don't have control over what Kawhi does with a sponsor.
Right.
So is the league going to take a more active role in this stuff?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. I'm skeptical as you are. But I did think that the language from Adam Silver was interesting today. Another thing that was interesting, and these two things are connected, he talked about expansion, and he talked about this idea that keeps getting kicked around in some vague terms about the NBA participating in some kind of formation or takeover of a league in Europe, getting involved in some kind of secondary league in Europe. And he said, one, those things are not connected. So it's not like the resources that would be going towards expansion are being used over here. He views them as separate entities. But he did talk about the interest of this. Hey, I like that there's momentum. He mentioned Tony Parker talking about it. He seems to like this idea and want to pursue it. What do you think of those comments, both of them, the expansion and this Euro League idea?
No, I can tell you the NBA very much wants NBA Europe to happen. What he pushed back on today was the notion that has been advanced in some corners, that he is more interested in NBA Europe than expansion. Adam Silver says that's not the case. But I think the reality is it seems like NBA Europe can happen faster than expansion can. Expansion isn't moving as like I think there was long this notion, external notion, not within the league office, but just among league observers, that once the new collective bargaining agreement was done in 2023, and once the new TV deal was nailed down with all the new partners, that immediately the NBA would launch into expansion and Vegas and Seattle, here we come. And that's moving slower than I
Right.
think was initially expected, which led to this theory slash belief slash
It's
take,
linear
whatever
to
you want to
think
describe.
that. Sure.
Yeah, that the league really cares more about the Europe stuff than expansion. And so Adam Silver is saying that's not the case. But the reality is it seems like Europe, the NBA Europe idea is a little bit farther along than expansion is. But like I said, I don't know how quickly it's going to come together, but I know the NBA wants to be in the NBA Europe business. The NBA wants to run its own league in Europe very, very badly. And I think it's going to happen. There are still a lot of questions, a lot of unknowns. How many existing top teams in Europe would join an NBA league?
Right.
The NBA, my beloved England, where I go to watch soccer constantly, the NBA wants to be in England if there's an NBA
There's because
Europe.
there's
But
money there, right? I mean, this is the
but right,
problem.
well,
Right now, the
there's not
EuroLeague has some poor nations, involved in it that are prestigious. And I have to imagine the NBA looks around and says, Germany, France, UK, that we want a lot of teams there. We're not so sure we want one in Serbia, and Lithuania, but we definitely want as many as we can pack into those
and look,
countries.
it's an arena situation as well. Like in London, you have the O2, which is a state of the art NBA level arena. In Manchester, you now have the Co-op, which is adjacent to my beloved Manchester City, which is again a brand new state of the art NBA level arena. What you don't have currently in England is top level basketball. So there has to be
Yeah.
is there going to be a London expansion team? Is there going to be a Manchester expansion team? Are they going to be owned by top soccer teams in England?
Mm,
Like there's so many, will Tony Parker, he owns a team in France. All the talk is that Tony wants that team to move into this new NBA league. How many other existing European clubs would move into the NBA league? Is there something they can do together with the Euro League, or is NBA Europe going to be competing against the 20-team Euro League? There are so many questions here. So again, it's not like NBA Europe is on the doorstep of happening tomorrow either, but it just feels like for all the questions that we ask about NBA Europe, it does seem that it's further along, whereas expansion, Adam Silver just keeps telling us that they are in the very preliminary stages. No cities have
right.
an edge over any others, and it's all very preliminary. But look, do I think the NBA will ultimately expand? I do. I do think at some point it will grow to 32 teams. How soon? I can't tell you. I don't know that. But I think it's still more likely than not that that's where we end up.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it just
one
might
thing, real
take a
quick,
while.
Mark, he did mention that one of the difficulties of expansion is the Lakers just sold for, or were just valued at $10 billion for a sale. A lot of these prices are in a point of ballooning right now. And he mentioned, hey, it's kind of tough to know what an expansion team is
Yeah.
worth because we're in this moment of
Yeah.
influctuation,
Is
which
it
is
yeah, so
interesting.
so what's the expansion fee? Is it 4 billion? Is it 5 billion? Is it 6 billion? I mean, that's it,
Yeah. Is it
like
8 billion? Who knows? Yeah, we're in this moment.
but ultimately you remember whatever it is, the owners, the teams get to, that's not money
Right.
that that league rules dictate they must share with the players. So it just seems to me that like the expansion fee will be so substantial. It's hard for me to imagine that the owners are really going to resist two teams
Yeah,
coming
they're
in at
ready.
6, 7, 8, 10 billion, whatever it is. I don't know what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there is so much happening. So I mean, like if you're a sports business person, the NBA has a lot for you.
Well, before we move on and get back to EuroBasket real quick, Josh Giddey just signed his extension, 4 years, 100 million. It took the entire summer, almost the entire summer, to get this deal done, but he is going to be there for 4 years and 100 million. But that to me leaves the question now about the guys who have not yet signed: Quentin Grimes, Jonathan Kuminga, even Cam Thomas. So what does it mean for these guys now? Because Josh Giddey, I guess, is sort of in that category, but more importantly, just aligns timing wise. What do you think it means for the rest of the league there?
Well, first I have to say I think the Bulls did pretty well here. You know, the Bulls
Good
get
deal.
a lot. The Bulls get a lot of criticism, and I've been at the front of the line for a lot of that criticism with our pals at CHGO. But look, they offered Giddey. Jake Fisher reported it on my Substack in early August. The Bulls offered Giddey 80 million over 4 right when free agency started. Giddey was hoping for 120 over 4 or even 150 over 5. He wanted 30 million a year, like other players in his class, like Jalen Suggs and Jalen Johnson. Giddey had a great second half last season. He wanted 30 a year, 30 mil a year, like some of some of the other players in his draft class. The Bulls offered 80 over 4. It inched up to about 88 over 4. And then they ended up at 100 over 4, 25 a year. If Giddey plays the way we saw in the second half of the season, that is a very good deal for Chicago. And don't
Yeah.
forget, Chicago is doing this the whole time, knowing that next summer they've got to go through the same dance with Kobe White, and Kobe White's going to want more than 30 million a year. So to get Giddey at the price they did, I think was good business. But like, as you said, so Cam Thomas took the qualifier in Brooklyn. He's just going to play on a 1-year, $6 million deal and become an unrestricted free agent at the end of next season.
By the
Giddey's
way,
deal is,
there's no chance that works out for Cam Thomas. He might make some money, but that guy has such an inflated sense of what the market is going to provide for him, in my opinion.
something, for some reason, I had a feeling, and something tells me that Legs is probably right on the same page with Mares on this one. I'm guessing you guys are in complete agreement. But
On this one, not always, but on this one we
I
are.
that's what I'm saying on this one. But I like Cam Thomas's gumption here. I think, look, he is a score first player, and there is, like, what kind of deal is he going to get in free agency next summer? But he's betting on himself, and I respect it, because we've talked about this before. Restricted free agency sucks for the restricted free agent. So the fact that he's willing to take this 1-year deal, and remember, the Nets offered him like 30 million over 2, but they said, if you want that deal, you've got to waive your implied no trade clause. And so we can basically, the Nets were trying to turn him into a trade chip. And then the Nets said, we'll give you a 1-year deal for almost 10 million if you just waive that, because these are 1-year birds. It's not a full no trade clause.
Right.
The only full no trade clauses in the league are LeBron and Damian Lillard. But when you are on a 1-year deal with the team you ended the last season with, you get an implied no trade clause for the season. So the Nets said, Cam Thomas, we'll give you 10 million for this season if you waive that. We're seeing all kinds of players on 1-year deals waive that implied no trade, but Cam Thomas said, nope, you're not just going to trade me wherever you want. I'm going to play this year at 6 million. So he left money on the table, bet on himself. Now Giddey has his deal, and you said it. We've still got Kuminga and Quinten Grimes out there. The Kuminga situation is the most fascinating because the Warriors have 6 roster spots open. Training camp starts in less than 3 weeks, but everyone in the league expects Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and Gary Payton II to sign. They're going to be Warriors this season, but these guys can't sign until the Kuminga situation is resolved. And Kuminga has until October 1st to either sign his qualifier or let it go. But the first day of practice is September 30th. So if Kuminga takes this all the way to October 1, are Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, will they even be at the Warriors' first practice of the season? They can't sign yet. So it's really held up business for Golden State. But now that Giddey has a deal done, let's see. Let's see if we finally get the Grimes and Kuminga situations resolved. And I mean,
Yeah.
Restricted free agency it has consumed the whole summer. It is just the
How it
slowest.
worked.
Yeah, it's moved glacier slow.
And there's other ones as well. I mean, Christian Brown in Denver is another big one that I expect to be negotiated here in the coming weeks. And to be honest with you, I think he might get more money than Josh Giddey, which is crazy because Giddey is thought of as a lottery pick and this cornerstone piece. So it's always interesting when the first one falls and you kind of see where everybody else falls into place. All right, let's take a break. We got to get to the other side now where we're going to talk about EuroBasket, and the Final Four is set, and there's some good storylines. We'll get to that on the other side. First, you know that moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach, on the roof of your car, or at a gas station 3 exits away? Well, we've all been there. I've been there too. But what I found was that Shady Rays, they've changed the game. They've got sunglasses that are made for real life. They're very good looking, stylish, in some cases athletic. They got ski goggles, polarized, durable, all types of different options for you. But the wild part is if you lose or if you break them, either one, you break them, oh, I just sat on them or whatever happened, lose them, just your own fault. You don't even need an excuse. Yes, I left them. I left them at the gas station and now I don't have them anymore. Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can wear your sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever it is. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code AC35 for 35% off of polarized sunglasses. It's important for you to use our code. This is how they judge us. So use it, AC35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Also want to tell you guys about FanDuel. It's the best place to find all of your favorite player props. So now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. We're in between week 1 and week 2 of the NFL. Maybe you want to see who is playing well. What do the numbers say about who had a sneaky grade? This is the time of year that it's the most fun because there's always breakout players that the market hasn't quite caught up with. You want to see if a guy's hitting that over consistently or maybe even flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. If you don't already have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/AllNBA to join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, welcome back here. Segment 2 of the All-NBA show. Adam Mares, Marc Stein. So EuroBasket now heads into the quarterfinals. And I think we have a pair of really good matchups. More importantly, we have some NBA star power. Giannis carried Greece through 2 very impressive wins to make it to the semifinals. Alperen Şengün, the breakout star of EuroBasket 2025. And then on the other side, Franz Wagner, Dennis Schroeder, Daniel Theis, and then Lauri Markkanen, who has been an absolute beast. Those are your matchups. So real quickly, as we get into this, the only quarterfinal game I want to mention is Luka Dončić did not have a great team with Slovenia. He got so close to upsetting the favorites in this tournament in Germany on Wednesday, much closer than I expected. And I think you could even argue they should feel like they should be kicking themselves a little bit that they let that one get away.
He's been so good.
Good.
Look, Giannis, Şengün, they've been tremendous too. I mean,
Giannis has been really impressive.
Şengün is feeling himself right now. Like he's throwing Jokic passes. Like Friday is going to be good, man. Giannis, Greece, Turkey is going to be a great semifinal. But this is by far the weakest national team that Slovenia has ever had with Doncic on it. And it just like
it was close.
There are no NBA players on the team. There's only one other EuroLeaguer, my guy Klemen Prepelic. I love that name, Prepelic. Just a glorious name, but like he plays for Dubai basketball. Like there's no way nobody has been within 20 points of Germany. And what, Luka had to deal with an early technical and foul trouble and still threw up 39, 10, and 7. I mean, Laker fans have to be really excited about what they saw. This was the first this tournament was, the preview of Luka after he put in all this work on his body this summer. And look, he is
He looks really
moving
good.
with more speed, more explosion, and just like more active on defense. The scoring load, Hoops Hypes had some great tweets here recently about the scoring load that Luka has carried. That's like Wilt Chamberlain-esque in terms. He's scoring almost 40% of Slovenia's points. You are absolutely right. This team should have been nowhere in the same ballpark as Germany. They are the overwhelming tournament favorites. But I think what that game tells us, it's not so easy to be the overwhelming favorites after Serbia loses, after France
Yeah.
loses. Spain, four times the EuroBasket champion in the last 6 EuroBaskets, didn't even make it out of the group
play.
stages. All of this pressure now is on Germany. The Germans are supposed to win this thing. And maybe today was a glimpse that, you know what? That's a big responsibility. And that's a weight that now maybe they got through it in the quarters and maybe now they're ready to mow through these last 2 games. But Greece Turkey is going to be a monster game, but Finland has been a dynamic, surprising team in this tournament. They have nothing to lose in the semifinals. They've never been this far in EuroBasket. And Lauri Markkanen and the group around him playing loose and free as the underdog. That's going to be that Friday. The 2 Friday semis, I think, both have a lot of potential.
Finland to me is not a great team, and I've watched them a lot, but they've really played their best in the last 2 games in this elimination round. I think they're very well coached. That being said, I don't see that game being competitive. I think Germany's too good. Luka, it can't be overstated, in my opinion, the performance he put on in this tournament to get them to the doorstep of the semifinals. He was that dominant. Markkanen has been incredible, but he doesn't control the game every possession the way that Luka does. And Germany is really good. So to me, I like what Finland has done. That's a 13-point game on FanDuel right now, 13.5. I think it's correct. I think that is about how this game's going to go.
Well, like I said, I think today was the Wednesday game, the quarterfinals was like a jolt for Germany because now in the previous game, Germany was only up 1 in the 4th quarter and then just took off. So it's not like it was the only close game the Germans have had, but the Germans have ended up winning every game by 20 plus. I mean, they have just been rolling. The 4th quarter in their last game was a dominant show. And yeah, I mean, if it's really like those 2 crazy late threes in the 3rd quarter, Obst with the one-legged fadeaway, and then De Silva with the half-court shot. That changed the game. Slovenia was in control.
This is what I mean.
And so, but you said it, Luka. Even if like he controls the game, and I think you said it beautifully there. Finland doesn't have that kind of player. Markkanen is a monster when he wants to be. I mean, he's been throwing up 40-point games all summer. But Luka really controls the game, runs the game, has the ball the whole time. He's got so much experience now in the in the international stage. But again, I love Finland playing free and loose. All the pressure's on Germany. Germany is supposed to win this tournament now.
Yeah.
And maybe again, they're gonna have to deal, assuming Germany does beat Finland and live up to that line you shared, they're going to have to play a good team in the finals because Turkey, the Turkish club has so much confidence. They've also gone through this thing undefeated. And like I said, Şengün is playing with a lot of confidence. And Giannis, I mean, I take you back to December. Remember how excited Giannis was to win the NBA Cup, something that, most of the outside, the NBA observers in this world don't get too excited about. Giannis was very pumped to win the NBA Cup. I can't even imagine how happy he would be if he could lead Greece to the EuroBasket title with two of his brothers on the team.
Yeah.
Like, he would be so psyched, so proud. And,
And he should be.
the Greeks in the Giannis era have never had the shooters to take pressure off him, and teams just load up on Giannis. But in this tournament so far, his supporting cast, they are making shots. And I mean, what did he have? 37 points on, like 2 free throws and no 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Yeah.
he's playing at a really high level. So Giannis v Şengün in the semis is that's
I think
that's going to be.
Luka has been the most impressive player. I think Giannis has been the second, and I think Şengün the third. Like, you could just go in that order throughout this tournament. With all respect to Lauri Markkanen, who's also been great, but that's how good Giannis has been. And then here's what I love about this one: Turkey and Greece, a little bit of a rivalry, regional rivalry. They're both powerhouses in basketball. They have a tradition. And then what I like is Turkish coach Ergin Ataman. He is the head coach of Panathinaikos in Greece, one of the big players in Greece. And not only that, Greece has 5 players that play for him on Panathinaikos. So this is a very familiar foe coaching against his own players, at Panathinaikos. And so to me, that's what makes this so fun, is that you've got all of this. And then you got Spanoulis coaching for the Greek team. This is just like a very familiar matchup. There's respect between the two teams, but also I think that's going to make for a very technically proficient game.
And Ataman is a character. He's very outspoken. Like you said, he knows the Greek personnel really, really, really well because he coaches in the Greek league. But also, I think it's the opportunity here, because we've seen so many upsets already in this tournament that, again, Germany is now the heavy favorite. But Turkey or Greece, whoever comes out of that semi, they're going to believe that they have a chance to win this thing, because upsets have been rampant throughout this tournament. And so, yeah, I don't know. Some people, maybe I'm overhyped. Maybe I'm, too into EuroBasket. I think that might be the vibe I'm getting from some of the people on this podcast right now. But I think we're in.
I'm into these games. I think that there's been some duds along the way where I was expecting and hoping for good games, and there have been a little bit of blowouts. But I think that, especially Greece Turkey, I think that's going to be an A+ match.
Yeah, look, I think we're in for a good weekend of high level hoops. I hope I'm right.
I think you are right. And to your point, I think Finland, I would be shocked if they won it. But I think those other 3 teams all have a case for it. And what a big deal it would be for Giannis to do this. It would be among the most impressive things in his career if he were to track him, just because I didn't think that they were going to be able to do it. So now here you are, 2 wins away. It would be that impressive. For Şengün, he's in this period where I think he's leveling up. And then for Germany, everybody made a note of Dennis Schroeder's comments the other day about how he'll never be Dirk, and, people will never accept him as Dirk. I think maybe some of this was taken out of context. Here's what I'll say. He has a gold medal for Germany. You get 2, that's a big deal. People in Europe, they count these tournaments quite a bit. If you get 2 gold medals in international competitions, that's a big deal. And so I just look at that and say, man, that would be huge for Germany. Those guys are young enough. I mean, Franz Wagner, young enough. He could start to stack international medals. That would be huge. And then for Giannis, the ultimate underdog.
No, look,
story.
I mean, you are well aware that I covered Dirk's whole career, and Germany is a basketball country now. I mean, obviously, it will always be soccer first there, but Germany has a really good team with Schroeder, with the Wagner brothers, with Daniel Tice, who's very good in international play. Remember, they don't even they don't even have Hartenstein. They don't even have Moxie Kleba. Like, this team has been together now for a long time. They have a great identity. It all starts with Schroeder. They won the World Cup in 2023. And if they can win EuroBasket now, yeah, I mean, look, Dennis Schroeder is one of those guys. I talked about this the last time. Evan Fournier, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Dennis Schroeder, when they are on the international stage, they are superstars. In the NBA, they might be regarded as role players, but when they play for their countries, they take on a massive role. And yeah, I mean, Germany has Germany is the team everyone's worried about in this Final Four. But like I said, I just think Greece Turkey is going to be a battle. Turkey, I'm trying to say it the way they want it said. Apologies. Greece Turkey is going to be a battle. And like I said, whoever wins that Giannis Şengün showdown, they're going to think they can win this thing.
Yep. And it'll be great, man. That's going to make for some great theater. If Giannis does it, man, I think I'll be pulling for Greece. If they get past this next one, I think I'll be pulling for Greece in the final, just because that would be such a great carry job and it would make for a great story.
But aren't you?
Right,
I thought you were pretend Serbian by now. So aren't you reeling? Aren't you reeling over the Serbs' early exit?
Of course, man, of course. So now that they're out of it, I could just look at it and try to pick a new horse. So that's what I'm going to pick here is Greece, because they surprised me, man.
I'm probably getting my hopes up again, but I hope at media day. I hope at Nuggets media day. I would love to hear Jokic. I hope someone asks Jokic a EuroBasket question, because it's just stunning to me. Last summer, Serbia nearly beat the United States and probably should have beaten the United States. But this is 2 straight EuroBaskets that Serbia has not gotten to the quarterfinals. It just seems unfathomable.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, my stance on it. There's no guard play. Bogdanović going down, they just had nothing they could do out on the perimeter offensively, and it sunk them. But nonetheless, it was still disappointing. I don't think they were going to win the tournament when Bogey went down, but I didn't think they were going to lose to Finland. But you know what? Shout out Finland. They're playing well. Shout out, by the way, Elias Voltanen, Sasu Salin as well. Those guys have been making big time shots. This is why I like EuroBasket. I learned.
And then Mika, and then Mika Murinen, the 18-year-old who he's going to be in the 27 draft. But I mean, he's a high school kid playing in EuroBasket. I mean, like,
it's crazy actually. This kid might be really good. People don't
in 2027. We're going to be talking a lot about him when he's draft eligible.
High school age kid. He's 6'11" and moves. So fluidly. That's a guy that he might end up 7 feet tall by the time he reaches the NBA. And if he moves that like Kevin Durant does, he doesn't have the skill set, but he does have this like defensive and length. He's a very, very, very interesting player. So another reason to tune into that Germany-Finland game to see the future of the NBA lottery. All right, that does it for our show today. He is Marc Stein. You can check him on the Marc Stein Substack, also over at DLLS. Legs will be back with me on Sunday night, recapping EuroBasket's championship game, so that should be fun. Look for us there. Hit that like button for us on the way out. See you next time.
We all silly like the mayor.